Morning, everybody. Make sure you go ahead and type that you're present on this post here. Right? No need to tell me you're present in the chat. Well, unless you want me to know that you're there. But make sure you type in that you're present on this post here. Yeah, every time I start the stream, what I'll do is share the link with you first. Sometimes it might be a little late because I want to get everyone here as quickly as possible first. If not, if you notice, both of our videos so far has been I start the stream and we waste about 5 minutes of video streaming time just talking about waiting for people and telling you to comment your presence on the day video post. So that's why I want to do it this way, by sharing the link first and then waiting for you guys to say that you're present on the post, in the video full post for day 2 and every post going forward. And then when I see that there's a good amount of people that posted their present, then I'll start the stream, and that would save us about 3 or 5 minutes based off of just waiting for people and talking to you now, and so I want to try and minimize that introduction time waiting for people. So going forward, remember that the link will be posted even if it's late. Sometimes just wait for it. I'll post it, you'll open it, and even if this stream says offline, it's not that I'm not here, it's just I'm waiting for people to sign in and be present before I start the stream. That way we don't lose these, or we don't use up these minutes on the video wasting your time just talking, because remember, some people don't have access right now, so they'll be watching this video, and imagine having to watch a video and the first thing is 5 minutes of just this waiting. So just remember that going forward, links will be posted, video will be started after a fair amount of people here are listed as present. All right, that's just to save you time, because if you go back and watch these videos, you'll have to fast forward 5 minutes, skipping all this attendance introduction portion. All right, we have about 14 people. Remember I said last time that the disadvantage of having the live streams is that if you reach the class late, then you'll be watching the stream where we are currently, and then you will basically miss out on information that was given maybe like 5 minutes ago. So that's the drawback to having it live. The advantage of live is that I can answer your questions now. So I've been giving it some thought. Maybe, depending on your feedback, maybe I'm thinking next week, instead of having the live sessions, I record one video in the morning for first form, and we just call that day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Basically I'll record the videos beforehand and then do the activity and make you guys just watch the video instead, rather than having me live stream. But it's up to you to tell me which one you prefer. Do you prefer that I live stream, talk to you guys, make you guys ask questions live, or if you prefer that I just post the video and just get right into the activity and just do the activity and you just watch it? Therefore you don't have to fast forward, you don't have to worry about me waiting for people's attendance and so forth. But that's up to you. Remember, the reason why we're doing live stream is to address questions from the beginning, and also the videos will still be on Facebook, on YouTube after the live stream either way, so you can always go back and watch it. You guys let me know, and I'll also see how the rest of the week turns out, and I'll decide if I'm gonna do that or just stick with this. Personally, I rather stick with the live streams, but we've used the 5 minutes already, so let's get right into the activity. For those of you using Excel, please open it. For those of you using Google Sheets, make sure, let me close this one. Alright, so if you need to be using Google Sheets, make sure you search for it. It's the address here. So make sure you open a blank sheet. First thing you do for the Google Sheets, once again, make sure you pay attention to this bar up here, because this is what tells you whether I'm on Google Sheets or if I'm in Excel. And I'm making that clarification because Sheets and Excel looks very similar. Alright, so this is the link that you'll be copying after this has been filled out with your assignment. And again, I'll be working mostly on Excel, but I'm just doing this for you guys for today. Tomorrow I won't be showing this again. I'll just have the sheet open and ready to go. So we go back to Excel, click on blank workbook. So a brief intro with Excel is that it's mainly used for accounting purposes and finances, right? But a lot of people like the cell design, the tabular design, if you will, and they like using this for design purposes, for like official documents, or maybe not official documents, but for documents that require a how to call it, maybe not an equal structure, but an even structure. And for example, where I'm getting at is people actually use Excel to design restaurant menus, items, and prices and so forth, because again, it's already a table, so it's very easy to just separate different sections of a menu using these cells and these columns and rows. So that's one of the uses that I've seen people do using Excel. That isn't really what Excel was intended for, but it's something that people do use it for because of its convenience. In terms of accounting and calculation, which is what Excel was, well, is really where it really shines, is because of all the built-in formatting and all the built-in data manipulation, not only to just formulas but also to data validations and so forth, which we'll get into in another class. But for today, I just wanted to give you a brief intro to Excel. Everything that you can do in Excel is pretty much the same, or can be done in Sheets. Again, note the border up here. This tells you that I'm using Sheets. It's only going to be named differently because Excel might call something by one name and Sheets might call it by a different name. So really it's just a difference in name, but it's still attainable in both applications to basically do the same task. So again, attention to the border up here, tells you whether it's Excel or Sheets. So back to Excel. One of the great things about Excel is that one file actually may contain multiple pages, or in this case they're called sheets, hence the name spreadsheet application. The reason why is for financial companies or people who are doing large financial audits and so forth, they might need more than one sheet to do their work, because although you're doing something based in finance, you will have different calculations and different topics, if you will, depending on the task you're trying to complete. So an accountant would basically reviewing a company's payroll, meaning that the payroll is what the employees or what the employers use to track how much the employees get paid. However, you might want another sheet, and to add another sheet, you click on this plus icon found at the bottom here. And that sheet, if you were an accountant, might be used to track the earnings of the company. And then, for example, you need another sheet to track the spending of the company. So you notice, even though it's three different topics, it still relates to the finances of the company. Therefore, it's very practical to just have one single file but store multiple sheets so that you can actually cross combine, and which you can do that. You can access information from sheet 1 and then carry it over to sheet 3. So for example, if you had the payroll and let's say everyone is getting $100, then in sheet 2 you can actually reference that $100 and say, well, as spending goes, we are spending $100 on payroll, right? That maybe that's not the way it's done in real life, but I'm just saying that's something that you can do when you're using Excel. You can reference values across sheets, right? So that's how you add new sheets. Another way that you can add sheets is actually by copying one sheet and basically duplicating it. So what I'm going to do is delete these sheets, because what we'll be doing today, our task, is to create a class schedule. And it's not a full class schedule. I want you to right click on this tab here, and then we're going to click on the option to rename. While you can create many sheets, and then while they default to sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3 based on how many sheets you have, it's more practical for someone to actually be able to name their sheets based on what that sheet represents. So for today, we're going to create a class schedule template on the first sheet. If you remember what a template is, it's basically a structure, right? A structure that is intended to be copied and reused among any other task that you're doing. This template is specifically a class schedule, not much different than the ones that you already have with your class and the different times you have certain classes during the day. So we're going to do something similar to that, but of course, this being a template, we're not going to insert the classes, because we're going to use this template for all first form, second form, third form, fourth form, right? So instead of adding the classes, we're going to do the outline for the template, and then when it's time to do the other forms, we can simply copy the sheets with all the formatting and then insert the values or the classes for each class individually. So that's how you rename sheets, and that's how you add new sheets. You right click on the tab, and then any of these options you could play with just to test them out. Don't test these options on a sheet that you intend to save, because you might end up deleting it by mistake. Alright, so I would say practice these options on empty sheets like this if it was empty, but I intend to use this one. So the next thing I want to cover, alright, we're going for 12 minutes. Next thing I want to cover is adjusting the sizes of your columns and the sizes of your rows. To adjust the size of columns and rows, you can manually go on the line of the label between two columns or two rows, clicking and manually dragging the size by dragging either left or right. So that's how you can manually adjust rows for a column, and this is how you can manually adjust height for the rows. This is good if you just wanted a quick additional space for your information that you're writing in. If you're not trying to be exact, or if you're not trying to look neat, then you can just quickly adjust them like that. However, there's a way that you can do it with precision by typing in exactly how large or how small you want those sizes to be. And in this case, you do that by clicking on the label, not left clicking, but actually right clicking on the label, and you look for the option that says column width for the columns. It will pop up a little window that's showing the current width, which is right now it's at 30.56. For our schedule, we're going to be using width 25, so make sure you do that in the assignment. Oh, and by the way, this is the assignment for today, basically to create this template for today. Make sure you upload the file if you're using Excel. Make sure you copy the link here if you're using Google Sheets. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and make the size of the following columns to be 25. Now, the drawback with manually resizing columns is that you can only do one column at a time. I'm not sure if you can actually do multiple, but let me see. Now, see, it's still actually, yeah, you could do many at a time, but that's up to you, right? I usually prefer to just highlight all these columns that I'll be using by clicking on the label and dragging them. Right click on the label for the column and then format the width. Again, we're going to be 25. Click OK, and all of them will be at a width of 25. So for our purposes, 25 is perfect for our schedule. What I'm gonna do now is up to 10, let's go 11. Up to 11 rows, we click, hold on to the mouse and highlight these rows, right click on the label for the row, and then we'll give it a height of, let's give it 35. For Google Sheets, if you're using a laptop, you should be able to right click, and then this is what I mean by Google Sheets can do the same thing except they call it something different. In Google Sheets, they use the word resize column. So let me look for it. Where is it? Okay, here it is. So again, you just have to kind of look for it. I'm not really used to using Sheets either, but right click on the label as we did in Excel, click on the resize column, and in this case it goes by pixels. So right now it's at 100, maybe you want it to be 200, and it'll resize that way. Same thing for the rows. You click on the row, you right click, you look for the option to resize the row, and you use the current pixels, and then you decide if you want it twice as big or smaller, and that's how you get it done. Alright, do a little bit of reading, be a little patient, and you should be able to do the same things that we've been doing in Excel. So we have done some formatting to our Excel file. We've adjusted rows, we've adjusted widths, we've created our spreadsheet, we've named it. So now let's start entering information. I'm gonna write the word class, and I'm gonna put our class on this second cell here. We need headers for our schedule, so I'll put time because this entire column here will be different times for the classes. And then instead of our schedule, which label days based on letters like A, B, C, I'm not gonna put these because these might get confused with the columns up here. So what I'm gonna do is just label them based on the day. Right? So this is your assignment. Finish out this outline, copy what I have. Right? So we'll be doing this, and then next class, or next day that we meet, we're actually going to start formatting this a little bit more to make it look even better than it does now. And we will actually start filling in for some classes. If you notice, the schedule that we follow is a simple one. It's just hour by hour. And we don't have break in the mornings. The reason is because we come out at 2, and this is a template that we'll be copying and using across all forms. So we leave most of these cells empty because we don't know who will have what class yet, but we do know that 12 to 1 is lunchtime, so we can label lunch for all days at the same time. So we already know that lunch is the same for everybody, so lunch can be put into the template at once. If the video is freezing, let's see. Yeah, the health is kind of fluctuating. If the video freezes, you just have to wait for it to buffer, and if you miss some parts, then just make sure you go back and watch that section of the video. Alright, so this is our schedule outline so far. It's just an outline, and as you can see, we have space to enter classes. But the last thing I want you guys to know is, similar to Microsoft Word, we had left alignment, center alignment, and right alignment, and you can actually align the data inside the cells to follow these alignments. Now, the difference between Word and Excel is that when you select an alignment, it's only on a cell by cell basis. If you had done this in Word, it takes the entire paragraph or sentence that you write and it moves it across the page, right? but these alignments are applied to the cells only, not to the entire document. If you do want to align multiple at once, then you simply highlight multiple of the cells. We click this, and you notice the class went back to the left because I actually deselected the center option. Now I will select it once again, and all of your content is centered. And unlike Microsoft Word, there's also a way to center or align, but vertically. So you have top align, which aligns the text to the top. You have bottom align that aligns them to the bottom, and you have center align or middle align that aligns them into the middle vertically. So yes, this here is the completed assignment. Make sure you have this ready for me. Make sure you save your file, which I'll do right now. Remember to click save as desktop. Well, desktop is where I'm saving it because it's just easier for me to find it in my desktop. So assignment day 2, which is our day 2 for today. Your name, your class, save it. You notice we applied this alignment styles on all of the cells, so when it's time to type in the classes for each form, it's gonna be already centered, so it's already formatted, so you don't have to do this part. I'm just showing you it as an example. Make sure you have these files saved because we are going to be using the same files over again in the coming days. So if you have this finished exactly as you see here with all the formatting, then sure, you could go ahead and send me the file. Let's go back to the class. I'm going to show you this one last time. I expect for the other assignments moving forward, I don't need to do this again for you guys. Olujimai, Jair, Tristan, I don't know if you did this in the future and came back into the past and submitted the assignment, or if you were following all along and you finished it that quickly. But if you did, then I hope you sent me the file in these posts. Let me check something here. Right, see, Olujimai, I have a hard time believing that you submitted the assignment with the file at 9:41 when I didn't even start teaching yet. So this isn't like the day 1's assignment where all you need to do is type in your name, your class, and that's it. This assignment today requires you to actually upload your files, and your files cannot be uploaded if you haven't even done the assignment that I've been doing during this class. So you three, I expect you guys to have to do this over with the files being sent to me. Alright, if you don't have a computer, right, try and do it with your cell phone using Google Sheets. It's gonna take some time, but try and get it done. And if you really can't do it with the phone, try and see if someday you can get access to a computer and do it on the computer, and then send me the link. That's the beauty of having things online. You can do it on any computer as long as it has access to the internet, and you can submit this anywhere you have a computer with internet access. Remember, every day we're going to be doing an assignment, so try and get those assignments done as soon as possible. Don't let it pile up, because those of you who, well, I guess you guys who are watching the video, aside from you, those of you who aren't able to watch the videos right now or during class times, their work is going to pile up in a way, and I will be understanding for them. I will be giving them some time to finish the work, but they'll have a lot of work to do, and I'll work with them. You know, I'll be patient with them. But if you can get this work done already during these 2 weeks breaks, it's better for you. You'll have more time to enjoy your Easter holidays. You won't have to worry about doing a lot of work when you come back from these breaks that you're having. So if you have done the assignment and you save your file like I did, make sure you do assignment for day 2. All assignments will be linked by name based on the video. So if it's video day 2, assignment will be assignment day 2. It's always going to be linked based on days, right? So if you're using Google Sheets, and I'm going to do a little thing here, I'll copy this and then I'll paste here. So if I were to be using Google Sheets and I have everything ready, which this isn't ready, of course, this doesn't have all the styles that I implemented with the Excel file, but if I was ready to submit this, I'd copy the link up here, paste it in this area, and then submit. If you're using Excel, you click on the add file button, select files from your device, search for assignment. In this case, it's day 2, 1F, open that, click on upload. Once it's done uploading, it will close the window for you, and this is your file. Click on submit. It's always going to be either this one or this one. You're not supposed to send me both. If you have Excel, use the Excel file. If you have links, Google Sheet, use the link. Click on submit, and once you see this message here, that means I have received your submission. You don't need to confirm. This is your confirmation message right here. Alright, so we're at 26 minutes. We would be at 20 minutes if we didn't spend that 5 minutes at the beginning just waiting for people and explaining some of the basics again, right? So tomorrow we continue with our schedule. We'll do some additional formatting to make it look a lot neater than it does now. This is basic, this is straightforward, but we want to make it look a little better than it does now, right? So we do that tomorrow. Be ready, have Excel open as you start the class. Don't wait for me to begin talking to open these applications. Have your sheets open if you're using sheets, and then remember today's form of how to upload or send in your submission, right? I won't do this again tomorrow just for saving time. If you need to see it again, make sure you watch today's video or even yesterday's video, which I do cover submitting your work again. So if you have any questions, you could ask them in the chat here. If you don't, I'm gonna end this stream in 1 more minute just so we're not using up video time. Yes, this assignment is to do the same thing I did today. Once you get the message that says your response has been recorded, that is your confirmation message. Make sure to do today's assignment exactly how I did it, how I showed you guys. And then tomorrow we'll be continuing using the same file. So remember to access the same file that we did today. Tomorrow we're gonna do the same thing. Alright, if there's no more questions, I'll end the class now. I'll still be online, so you can still ask questions in the chat area, but the stream or the video itself will be stopped now. So have a good day, rest of you guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Calvin, I don't need to check because once you get this message, it means I got it. Alright, so don't worry too much about it. As soon as you see that message, I got it. If you send me the correct link, then I should be able to view it. Alright, but for now, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good day.